Hello, everybody, and welcome to Apply Board Live. We're here today talking about making the big move to the UK, and I'm really excited to have this session with you today. And I'm happy to say we have the University of Hertfordshire with us, who will be talking about life at the university, arriving at the UK, student support, COVID updates, and anything we can pack into the next 15 minutes. So I'd like to welcome Kat, who is the International Marketing Officer from the University of Hertfordshire, to the session right now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks very much for having me here as well, Angie. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to you all today.
Yeah, very exciting. And I'm sure we've got lots of people that are going to ask us some fun questions. So again, if you have anything, just ask us and we'll be able to answer them. But as I mentioned, we're going to be going through some exciting information about arriving in the UK. So all the students that are ready to come and are looking to start in September or January, and everybody else who's interested in applying, that we'll talk about that as well. So let's start off by saying, first of all, welcome. And the UK is open. Like, we're really excited to be getting students coming to the UK soon. That's great news, isn't it, Kat?
Yeah, it's so exciting, and it's perfect time really as well for everybody who's joined us in September. It means that freshers events, they can be in person this year, which is really good news. I know that everybody's just dying to have kind of a big bang freshers weekend as well. So yeah, and teaching can resume in person as well, which is lovely.
That's really exciting. Yeah. So let's have a look about a couple of questions we've already received before the event today. So another thing about, why would a student come study in the UK? And the first one being, it is open. They are welcoming students. So maybe we could talk a little bit more about sort of what's going to happen when they come to the UK. Are they going to be learning in classes? Is that going to happen this September?
Yes. So because the UK government has now the social restrictions have been lifted, so in-person teaching can resume. We have been reviewing how the university's teaching, and it will still be a blended learning approach. However, there will be that face-to-face aspect to it. So anybody who's joined us, you will get face-to-face teaching with your lecturers. You actually get to sit in the classroom with your fellow students as well. The class sizes might be a little bit smaller than in previous years, but it's just to make sure that everybody still feels comfortable. Alongside that, because the University of Hertfordshire has invested so much in the online learning materials as well, people still get the benefit of having all the online recorded lectures as well. They'll be able to book online meetings if they want to, and have the best of both, really.
That's great. I mean, honestly, I can't wait to even do meetings for work, so I can only imagine how exciting it is for students to be able to come in and do face-to-face and meet their colleagues. That'll be fantastic. So before we get into the thick of arriving in the UK and all the things you have to prepare, maybe you could go through a little bit about the University of Hertfordshire and tell everybody on the call today who isn't aware a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So I work in the international office at the University of Hertfordshire. So we help anybody who's now classed as overseas, which now includes EU and international applicants. So the University of Hertfordshire, if you've not heard of it before, we're actually based in a town called Hatfield, which is in the county of Hertfordshire. So Hatfield's about 25 minutes by train from central London. You can get direct trains to King's Cross. We're a campus-based university though, so even though you're so close to London, you still get the benefits of being able to live on campus. We've actually got a 125-acre green campus, so it's lovely to walk around, really nice.
Wow, I must come go for a walk. That sounds like a hike more than a walk, Kat.
Yeah, it's lovely. We've got accommodation on campus. There's a sports village. We've also got a little woodland as well. So if you do want to kind of go for a walk in between lectures, just relax, restaurants. There's even a kind of clubs and bars and a pub on campus as well.
Everything you could possibly need. So, why bother leaving? Well, actually, leave. We've all been cooped up so long. It's definitely great to explore, right?
Yeah, definitely. But there's plenty to do. For those people who are joining in September, there's loads of kind of SU societies as well. So just to give you a chance to get out and about and meet people again, people who are interested in the same things you are, there's loads to do on campus. If people haven't heard of Hertfordshire before and they've not applied yet, they can definitely look into next year. We've got over 300 courses across 8 schools of study. So there is something for everyone, depending on what your career goals are.
That's amazing. So obviously, you know, those that are starting this September, we're going to talk about how they're going to, you know, start in the UK. And for those that maybe want to start later next year or earlier next year, there's so many opportunities for you to start your applications from now. And again, the earlier you do your application, the better, because you don't want to get stressed and towards the end of the year waiting for an offer. So again, yeah, definitely contact Apply Board if you want to make any applications to University of Hertfordshire. So what we're going to get into now, because I know we've only got 15 or 20 minutes, so we want to get through so much information, is really talk about those students that are going to start in the UK pretty soon and sort of what we're looking to do. So if a student is coming to start in the UK at University of Hertfordshire, what sort of support are you offering those students before they travel and when they land?
Yeah, so before they travel, everybody who's an offer holder, keep an eye on your emails. We've got our pre-arrival guide that's actually on our website this year. That's going to be constantly updated up until term starts, just because we know guidance might be changing. Guidance for quarantine might be changing as well. So make sure that you have read through that if you are a student who's coming to join us in September. Once you're here and you've landed in the UK, there's lots of different teams around the university to help you. So we've got our Dean of Students team. They're planning lots of orientation activities. There'll be a mix of online and in person. So if you are quarantining, you can still join in. We've also got support from our wellbeing teams as well. So if you're struggling at any point in the year, you can contact them. And there's other teams as well, like careers and employment services, an immigration team if you've got any visa questions while you're studying at Herts, and it's all in our central hub on campus as well, so you can easily speak to people.
Oh, that's great. That's going to be so useful for people that are a bit worried about that support. So again, like Kat said, check your emails, make sure you're fully prepared before you travel. There's so much support on campus, definitely with universities in the UK right now. We know people are a bit nervous about traveling, but everything is in place to support them, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that a lot of you, it might be the first time that you've ever owned a passport. It might be the first time you're ever getting a flight. So if you are worried at all, you can contact, any of our teams or the Apply Board team if you've applied through them, just to get the best guidance and support for you, and just make sure that you know what to expect when you're going through the airports, through customs, just to take some of the stress out of the journey as well.
I think more than ever, we need to be overly prepared for travel. And that goes to anyone before, even if you're not a student, we all have to make sure we check the regulations of the country we're traveling to. So I think this is going to lead into quite nicely our next question. So we've had people asking, what do I do if my country's on the red list? Or how do I find out about information? What are the quarantine rules? So let's talk a little bit about how they can prepare for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if your country is on the red list, you can actually still travel to the UK if you've got a student visa or if you've got leave to enter or remain. So you're still allowed to travel. You do just need to make sure that you have booked into those quarantine hotels, though, and you need to do that before you travel. So sometimes that's referred to as the managed quarantine package. It is a set price. The UK government have priced that, but the price does include all your food and drink while you're in the hotel, your COVID test for day 2 and 8 of being in the UK, any security that you might need while you're at the hotel. And it also includes the transfers from the airport to the hotel and back again. So they'll take you back to the airport afterwards, which is quite nice because then you know where you are.
And then you can obviously arrange any airport pickup from the university or make your way to the university after that. So it's best to be prepared from leaving your house in the country you're residing in to knowing what you're going to do. If it's, like you said, the hotel airport quarantine, pre-book that, do any tests you have to do before you leave the country as well. Make sure that's done and you have evidence. And then to when you're on campus. And I think it's really important to make sure that you get the timings right. You don't want to be missing enrollment, right, Kat? Yeah,
definitely. You do need to do a bit of advanced planning, definitely. This year, even more so. There's even more to think about. But yeah, the planning your trip from the airport to the campus, if you're staying in on-campus accommodation, We do have some approved taxi companies that a lot of our international students have used over the previous years. The taxi companies, they know you might be nervous, it might be your first time being in the UK. You can actually pre-book a taxi with them. We recommend a minimum about 72 hours before, but all their details are on our pre-arrival guide. If you haven't already and you are coming to Herts in September, you can go and check that out. And you'll be able to prepay with them as well, so you don't have to worry about having the cash ready as soon as you've got off the flight to get your taxi.
We've got some great questions here actually about amber lists. As we all know, it changes. The regulations change constantly, and we're going to post a link to the gov.ac website, which is where they'll tell you what countries are on the red list, the amber list, or the green list, and the rules for each of those colors are different, so definitely check. We did recently change it and update it, so many countries that were on the red list have been moved, thankfully, to the amber list, which is exciting news. So you don't have to stay in a quarantine hotel, but you will have to quarantine for 10 days on campus or wherever you're staying if you've got private accommodation. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about, someone's asked, how do I know what vaccination is correct? Do I still need to quarantine even if I'm on an amber list?
Yeah, okay. Really good question. So yes, there has been some changes with the amber list. So do check out the government website. But if you're from a certain list of exempt countries and you've had one of the 3 vaccines that's mentioned on the government website, which I believe they're the European Medicines Agency for Europe, the Swiss Medic for Switzerland, and the Food and Drug Administration for the USA, do check those because they may add more to them after this session. But if you've had one of those, if you've had the final dose of the vaccine at least 14 days before you arrive in England, and you're from one of the excluded amber list countries, then you don't need to quarantine when you arrive, but you will need to book a COVID test for day 2 of being in the UK still. If you're not from one of the exempt countries and you're on the amber list still, then you do need to do your quarantine for 10 days and 11 nights. But don't worry, you can do it in your on-campus accommodation if you've booked on-campus accommodation with us. There's also some food boxes that you'll be able to pre-order from the university so that you can have that to get you through your quarantine period. And there'll also be those online orientation events that I've mentioned. So you'll still be able to start meeting fellow students and joining in some kind of gaming tournaments. I think last year they did cooking competitions. So there's loads for you to get involved in.
Yeah, so there's no fear there. And again, it's always worth checking the gov.ac website because they do change quite a lot what country goes on the red, the amber, or the green list. So even if you're on the amber list today, make sure you check before you fly because the rules might change. But I think for now we'll be okay. But of course, if you have not actually got your vaccine at all and you're looking to travel to the UK, what is on offer for them there, Kat?
So that's really good, actually. So you don't need to have the COVID vaccine in order to travel to the UK. It's not a requirement. You just have to do whatever quarantine period you have to. But once you've enrolled at the university, you can actually register with a GP in the UK. So for those of you living on campus, we actually have a GP on campus that you can use. So again, so convenient. But then you'll actually go into the NHS vaccine rollout list. The vaccine in the UK is free. You won't have to pay for it. And you'll get called up by your GP in the UK when it's time for you to have the COVID vaccine as well. So just to give everybody peace of mind when they are going to their face-to-face classes, you'll get your turn and it'll be on the way to you as well.
That's fantastic. And again, like you said, it's all about making sure you are in the country with the time enough to quarantine before enrollment starts. You don't want to go and miss all those sort of things that you have to do. But again, when you land, like you said, there's fun activities at the University of Hertfordshire. They're going to be involved in things. Even if it's online when you land, that's fine. You'll then be able to come in and enjoy face-to-face classes and Freshers Week and all those sort of things that are really exciting. And we have had some questions, though. More about students that have applied. Someone had asked if they get picked up from the university when you land, and you quite rightly said they can pre-book a taxi, which is really useful. But also, I think it's really important to know that right now it's a very busy time. So if students are still waiting for anything, their offers or their CAS. Should they be okay? Are they still going to get that at this point?
Yeah, you've still got plenty of time. Please don't worry. I know that it feels like you've got so much to do, and you just want to get your CAS so you can apply for your visa. But yeah, you have still got time. Our admissions team, they do a lot of check-in on what would be the last date they can issue a CAS out to people in line with how long visas are taking, when the last date to register is. You've still got a lot of time. We've actually got, for most courses, we'll let you do your registration online if you can't get to the UK in time, and then the last date for you to be in the UK is towards the end of October. So there is a page on our website that you can check your course specifically, but yeah, you've got plenty of time. Please don't worry. As long as you're kind of thinking about your travel plans, you're checking on flights, you know what to do with your quarantine, you'll be fine.
Just as you said that, a plane went overhead and I was like, where are you going? So again, thank you for saying that, because I think some people were getting quite stressed. They thought they had to start in September, but as you said, if they get their CAS, pay their deposit, if they enroll and start their classes, they still have up until the end of October, but they have to be in class at the end of October, correct?
Yes, so there's some courses that you do have to be in class and in the UK earlier, just because they're quite intense courses. So there's a list of those on our website. But for most standard courses, you need to be registered on the course so you can at least pick up the online learning materials and start doing those and engaging with your tutor before. But if for any reason there's travel delays in your country, or there's a delay with your visa coming through, the last date for you to be in the UK is the end of October. Of course, we'd recommend you get here as soon as you can, because there's going to be a lot going on campus. We don't want you to miss out, but we don't want anyone to panic either. So we are making it as flexible as we can, just to make sure that you have got plenty of time to travel.
That's great. And we've got someone that actually said, which is really exciting, can I apply for September 2021 now? So you've got a student here that actually wants to apply. What do you say? I think it's quite late.
I'm so sorry. We'd love it if we could take you, but unfortunately applications are closed for this intake. So we're just processing everybody who has already applied. We do usually have a January intake, though. We're just waiting on confirmation of what courses will be available for January. So keep an eye on the website, and as soon as January opens, you can speak to Apply Board and they can help you with your application. Or if your course isn't available till September 2022, it's still worth getting your application in early, because you'll have a much less stressful application journey, because you won't be trying to rush and do everything in a couple of weeks.
Definitely. I think it's great that you're excited and you want to apply, but again, we'll be releasing the January intakes on the Apply Board platform. Again, like Kat said, if your course isn't there, don't worry, you'll be able to apply for September 2022. And again, definitely apply as early as possible, because you don't want to be stressed and running around and everything. So I'd recommend as soon as possible. We had someone else ask about this isn't necessarily to do with Hertfordshire. They asked about their ATAS certificate. They've been waiting more than a month. It's done through the government, so it can take more than a month. The minimum is around 4 weeks to get that ATAS certificate back. So don't worry, if you start hitting a little bit longer, maybe it's worth following up, but a month is fine. We always tell people it does take time. Be aware, everybody is pretty much working from home still, where some people are going back to the offices slowly. So things are taking a little bit more time than pre-COVID times. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. Seeing if there's any other questions here. Yeah, I reckon we can go to pretty much just summing up a little bit about Hertfordshire and welcoming the students, Kat, if you want to say your last few words.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much for having me on the session today. It's been really nice to kind of hear the questions coming through.
How is it nearly 20 minutes? It's flown by.
I know, it's gone so fast. But yeah, we're so excited to be welcoming students back to campus again. There's so many exciting facilities at Hertfordshire for you to actually get that hands-on experience with, that I think anybody who is joining us, I'm sure you'll have a fantastic time. You'll meet people from around the world. There's so much diversity on campus. It's going to be great. But yeah, don't panic. You've still got plenty of time. And yeah, we look forward to welcoming you in September.
Oh, that was really a really great session. I'm very happy that the UK is now open again. Everybody's excited. Please make sure you prepare. That's the main thing we're trying to get. Prepare for your travels. Be excited about getting onto the Hertfordshire campus. Ask us any questions if you want to apply for the next few intakes. We're really happy. So I'd love to say thank you so much, Kat, for joining us today. It's been so informative. And obviously, we've had a great session with everybody today. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to be running lots of these sessions in the future. But again, if you're interested in applying to the UK, please contact Apply Board. Very happy to help you there. And of course, like, follow, subscribe. That's what we say, right? So follow us, like us for more of these sessions, and hopefully we'll be seeing you in the UK pretty soon. Yeah, very excited. So thank you so much, everybody. And we'll say goodbye now.